Hello everyone. Basty's on vacation, but I missed you guys, so I wanted to make a little video and upload it. If I'm speaking kind of quietly, it's because it's almost 1:30 in the morning and the rest of the house is asleep, but I am wide awake. Nicholas and I had a nice day with our family, and we went to the pool and went for a boat ride, and now I can't seem to come down. So let's talk about Chris Watts, potato-faced line creep. This is his interview with Denver 7. That's what it says there. And I've only watched this a couple of times. I may not bring anything new to this, but I just like sharing this stuff with you guys. I like talking about it. I like mulling it over in my brain for whatever reason. And his interviews, he's such a strange person. I believe that Chris Watts is not a genuine person in any way, shape, or form. I don't believe that he knows how to be. I think he spent his whole life trying to figure out emotions in the sense that he mirrors what other people do, what he thinks are appropriate emotions. And the reason he acts so strangely in this interview and in others is because he's never seen anything to base this on, so he doesn't know how he's supposed to act. He's never seen anyone in this situation, so he's not able to mirror that or act in an appropriate way because he doesn't understand actual emotions. And that's I'm not saying he has like a mental illness or let him off the hook or he's not responsible for what he's done. Although I do believe you have to have some kind of mental illness to do what he's done. I mean, unless you just believe in pure evil, which is a possibility. I don't disbelieve that there's evil in the world. Obviously, I believe that there is, but I think in a lot of people there is somewhere in their brain, in their upbringing, wherever, there's an answer. This guy, though, I just don't know. So, again, this is his TV interview. I believe it was the day after his family was reported missing. So, Nicole Atkinson, Shanann's friend, supposedly set this up because a lot of people are like, why would he even do that TV interview? Well, Chris Watts says Nicole Atkinson called him and said, you're doing this TV interview and the cameras are on their way. And Chris Watts is such a pussy that he couldn't just say, no, I'm not doing it. I'm a mess. I can't do this. So let's get started. I'll probably stop it frequently if you want to watch the original. I'll try to remember to put a link in the description. So let's start.
Chris Watts, W-A-T-T-S.
Wow. What's going on right now around your house?
Right now, you got K9 units, the sheriff's department. Everybody's like they're doing their best right now to figure out like if they can get a scent, see where they went. If they went on foot, they went in a car, or they went somewhere. And right now, it's just like they've been on point. They're going through the house trying to get a scent, and hopefully they can pick something up to where it's going to lead to something.
So I'm not an expert on behavior or when people are lying, and I like when I pause it, he looks stupid in every freeze frame. Like he just looks stupid no matter what you do. Also, his hair is really strange to me. Like it's black on the top and like gray on the sides, so it looks like he's wearing like a piece of felt on the top of his head. Like he had a yarmulke, but it fell like towards the front. Anyway. I'm so dumb, man. I crack myself up and then I lose my place. But what's odd like out the gate to me, the question is, so what's going on at your house right now? I don't even want to think of how I would act in this situation. I don't want to imagine my family missing. As much as my family may irritate the ever-loving shit out of me sometimes, I don't even want to try to imagine how I would act. So I can't say he's not acting correctly for the situation. Everyone's different. There are obviously, though, a lot of red flags that just come out at you. One thing I've heard about people when they're telling lies, or they want you to believe something that they're saying, is that they tend. So the guy asked the question, "What's happening right now?" Where the answer would be, "Well, they have dogs here. They're trying to pick up a scent, so we can figure out what's going on." But he just goes on and on. Well, they got the canine units here, which I just think is really funny. Like, they're dogs. Okay, I get it. You're not a cop. You don't canine units. They have the dogs here. They're trying to figure out where they went at. If they went by a car, if they left. They're just trying to figure out. Just the way he speaks and his affect is really strange to me. He also says something over and over again, which just is bizarre. He keeps saying things like, if they're safe, they're going to come home. If they're not safe, but they might be safe, but if they're not safe. So he's just odd. Here's another thing I can't stop looking at on his neck. He's got like this red half circle on his neck. It almost looks like a hickey. I don't think it's anything important. I'm not saying it's like, look, there's proof like Shanann tried to fight him off. Because I believe, I don't know if it's been proven, but I think the theory is now that he gave her oxycodone or something. And when you're not used to taking that, it can have some pretty intense effects on you. And she was not capable of fighting him back. But once I noticed this mark on his neck, I could not stop looking at it. Let's continue.
Your wife came home. Tell me what's...
She came home from the airport 2 a.m. and I left around 5:15. She was still here. And like about 12:10 in that afternoon, her friend Nicole showed up at the door. Like, I had texted Shanann a few times that day, called her, say, but she never got back to me, but she wasn't getting back to any of her people as well. And that's what really concerned a lot of people, is like, if she's not getting back to her, like, if she doesn't get back to me, that's fine, like, she gets busy during the day, but she didn't get back to her people, which was very concerning. And Nicole...
And the rocking starts. The rocking begins. If she doesn't get back to any of her people. And I kind of get what he's saying. I texted her 3 times. I called her 3 times. She didn't get back to me. But, her friends, her downline, because she's, in the multi-level marketing pyramid scheme, she's on her phone all the time. I can kind of understand what he's saying here. She didn't get back to me, no big whoop. But she's not getting back to Nicole or any of her other friends or business associates or people she's shilling her stuff to. Yeah, that's a problem. So that I kind of understand. He's with his stupid mouth hanging open. Duh.
Called me when she was at the door, and that's when I came home. And then walked in the house, and nothing was vanished. Nothing was here.
Nothing was here.
She wasn't here. The kids weren't here.
Nothing was here. I don't know why I find that like repulsive to me, the way he puts that. I came in and nothing was here. Like, they're not even people. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. I don't think so, though. I think he's just... you know what? Even if I'm putting words and thoughts in his mouth, he deserves it. He's a despicable piece of shit. Giant
Nope,
turd.
nobody was here.
What's your wife's name?
Shanann. Shanann.
What's your kids' name?
Bella and Celeste.
How do you spell it? Celeste.
So, this is how I read this. The reporter asks, what's your wife's name? Shanann. What are your kids' names? And they zoom in on his face. And he makes this, after he answers the question, the side of his mouth curls up. And that's like a, I can't even think of the word for it. It's like when you feel disgust, you make that face. And you can't help it. It's like he's disgusted. I don't know if he's disgusted with himself. He's disgusted with the fact that, what he did. Or he's just disgusted that he even had kids. I don't know. But he makes that face a couple of times. Or it also could be the beginnings of a smirk. He literally smirks several times and straight out laughs a few times in this interview.
Celeste.
How old are your daughters?
4, Bella's 4, Celeste is 3.
And so, how many times did you try calling her?
I called her 3 times, texted her about 3 times just to say, what's going on. Like because after I called her and texted her once, it's like maybe she was just busy. Like she had just gotten back. Like everybody's probably calling her from her trip. She just got back from Arizona, and I figured she was just busy. But when her friend showed up, that's what it was like. It registered like, all right, this isn't right.
Do you think she just took off? Do you think?
I mean, right now I don't even want to just like throw anything out there. Like I hope that she's somewhere safe right now, and
I hope she's safe. And again, he's got that like the side of his mouth creeps up. It almost looks like he's gonna smile here. They're basically like, what do you think happened? Well, I don't want to throw anything out there. But he so does. Whereas I imagine as much as I don't want to, I'm going to put myself in that position. I can't imagine what has happened if someone's taken them. Please, anybody, if you know anything, call. But he's just like, well, I don't want to put anything out there, but if they're not safe, if they're safe, they're going to come home. But if they're not safe, it's just bizarre. It's just fucking bizarre. And I don't know if it was on that. There's I think it was on Oxygen. They did some episode of one of those crime shows that we ladies love so much. But they were interviewing CBI agent Tammy Lee, and she states something along the lines of, she's watching this interview happen live, or I guess it was live. They're watching the interview in some break room or something, and she's watching it, and she turns to whoever's in there, and she's like, oh shit, like, oh man, he fucking did this, like, it's so obvious.
With the kids, but could she just taken off? I don't know.
Mark on his neck. Am I the only one that sees this? It's like a giant hickey or a scratch, like he scratched his neck or something.
If somebody has her and they're not safe, like I want them back now. That's what's in my head. Like if they're safe right now, they're gonna come back. But if
someone referred, and I apologize because I've watched so many Watts related things over the past few weeks. I cannot remember, whom I'm referencing, but someone referred to the way he speaks, and also how his girlfriend spoke at the time as if they were adolescents, saying like all the time. He's like honestly, like if they're not safe, like I honestly like just want them to like come home. He says it's so much, very much so.
They're not safe right now. That's the not knowing part. Like if they're not safe, last night I had every light in the house on. I was hoping that I would just ran over by the kids running in the door and just like barrel rushing me, but it didn't.
I wish your kids could come back and run you over, like in your truck. That's stupid
Happens, and it was just a traumatic night trying to be here.
Oh, guys, it was a traumatic night for Chris Watts. I take it all back. God, I'm really mean because it was traumatic for him, not having his family there, being there all alone. It was just hard to take, you know. Like he was all alone for those 5 weeks before they came home. Fucker. Stupid.
I'm going to ask some kind of tough questions about your relationship with your kids.
I mean, yeah, my kids are my life. I mean, those smiles light up my life.
What's with the... He does this other thing too, in addition to the rocking and the holding himself, where he, like, eats his lip. And he looks particularly dopey when he does it.
It's like, I mean, last night, like, during, like, when they usually eat dinner, it was just like, I miss them. Like, I mean, I miss telling them, hey, you got to eat that or you're not going to get your dessert, you know? And just like,
you better eat that or I'm going to fucking kill you.
Snack after. I miss that. Like, I miss them, cuddle up on their couches. They have like a Minnie Mouse couch and a Sophia couch that they cuddle up on and watch, Bubble Guppies or something. And it was just like, I was, it was tearing me apart last night, and yeah, I needed that.
I can see how much it's tearing you apart as you're trying to hold back your fucking laughter. It really looks tough on you. How traumatic for you.
Last night, and for nobody to be here last night and to go into their rooms and know that I wasn't going to turn the rain machines on, and I know that I wasn't going to turn their monitor on, and know I wasn't going to kiss them to bed tonight. It was
kiss them to bed tonight.
It was I
hate that when I can't kiss my kids to bed tonight. It's traumatic. It tears me apart. His stupid face. So dumb and punching.
That's why last night was just horrible. I couldn't do it.
Last night was horrible.
I want everybody to just come home. Like, wherever they're at, come home. That's what I want.
And it seems like when he can't, look, there he is, like, swallowing his lip. His dopey face. It's like I can't think of any better. It's like, I need a thesaurus, like words for dopey. It's almost like when he cannot answer a question, he falls back on if they're not safe, but if they're safe. So when he gets asked I'm going to say, quote unquote, tough question, because the reporter does not ask him really any tough questions. Even when he says, I'm going to ask you a tough question. Did you guys have an argument? I mean, it's laughable. I guess that's why he's laughing. It seems when he gets sort of stuck with his master plan, which is also like ridiculous, that he really kept going with this, that he thought he was going to get away with this. And it's like the most poorly planned crime in history, thankfully. But it's like when he gets in a corner, he's just going to divert, and it works with a reporter because he's a reporter, and when I say worked, he does that also with the police, but they don't stop asking questions when he says, did you all have an argument? Well, we had an emotional conversation, but see, if they're safe, I know they're going to come home. But if they're not safe, then they're not going to come home. So I don't want to think about if they're not safe. I just cannot imagine why he believed that this was going to work. And I don't think he, quote unquote, planned it, but I think he had it in his mind for a long time. I think he fantasized about it, and I think when he finally reached a point, like, he started, and there was no turning back at that point, at least in his mind. So the fact that this idiot, and I think he believed he was of an above average intelligence. I think he believed he was very smart. And he's just average. I mean, he's not a genius, obviously. But, his plan failed because he's not observant and he's not very smart. I believed he thought he was going to have more time to kind of cover his tracks. But because he didn't pay attention to his wife, because he was so busy chasing his strange, that, he didn't either realize or he forgot she had a doctor's appointment that day. Nicole Atkinson, immediately her antenna went up when she didn't hear back from Shanann. The fact that he did not realize that she would be missed so quickly, I mean, he's just stupid. Thankfully.
Where was she gone for? She was on. She came back Sunday. You said at 2 at night.
Yeah, because her flight got delayed from Arizona because of other storms around the nation.
And it has to be, his anxiety level has to be through the roof with the dogs in there. He has to be wondering if they found anything, if they're piecing it together, because so far his entire plan has not gone the way he thought it would. It's none of it is working the way I guess he imagined it would. I really believe he thought he'd have a little bit more time, maybe a couple of days, even though Shanann was constantly on the phone with her friends, with her associates, with customers. She was constantly on Facebook. I mean, what was he going to do about that? Was he going to post on Facebook for her? I mean, she was doing Facebook Lives. She was constantly posting, because that's part of your job when you're in an MLM. You have to create this aura of success on your social media and irritate all your friends and family with constant I have a great business opportunity. Don't you want to do what I do? And I'm sorry if I'm not hating on anybody. If you're in an MLM, I'm sorry. Get out. Get out as quickly as you can, because I'm going to be honest with you. Nobody enjoys your social media posts about your business opportunity. I'm not interested in it. I don't want to buy your overpriced stuff. And also, you're not a small business owner. I hate to break it to you, but you're not. You had to pay to get into a quote-unquote opportunity. Only 1 or 2% of people actually make any money in these. Just a short message from me. I'm not making fun of anybody, because I've been involved in 2 of them. I did Mary Kay for a while. I also did the Body Shop. So, even Papsby got caught up in that, and I lost money. I didn't make any. Anyway, the other thing I want to talk about is Chris Watts. I think he believed he was really hot. He was really hot now. That's his body. He still looks gross to me. I think his body's really weird. And maybe it's just the way he's standing. I mean, his head is enormous and goofy looking, but even his body, I just do not find him attractive in any way. And the way he's standing here, it looks like he just wants to fold in on himself and disappear. Stupid.
So she's supposed to get home at 11. She got home at 1:48. She got in bed about 2.
What was she going for? Family trip? Or
It was a Thrive Direct Sales. It was a local event that was down there between a bunch of leaders in the company.
And that day she was back.
I left work early that morning, 5:15, 5:30. So she barely gotten into bed pretty much.
I left early. Wait a minute. Let me unpack that for a second, because I'm trying to understand. She got home at 2, and I like his exact time. She got home at 2 a.m. or 2:02 or whatever he says. And I left at 5:07. She barely had time. She barely had time to get into bed. It was 3 hours, dude. That's plenty of time. And apparently it's plenty of time for y'all to have sex, which I find particularly repulsive. I believe he knew. Well, he even says when he tucked his kids in that night, he thought to himself, ugh, I want to fucking grab his nuts, twist them off, and pull them physically off his body. When he tucked his children in, he had the thought as he's walking away, well, that's the last time I'm going to do that. So he knew he was going to kill his wife when she came home. And frankly, I believe he killed the girls before Shanann even got home. Or he tried to. I've heard a couple different versions that he smothered them before she came home and they resuscitated, or he smothered them, then had sex with her and they resuscitated. So I've heard a couple different things. He's just repulsive.
But did you guys get into an argument before she left?
It wasn't like an argument. We had an emotional conversation, but I'll leave it at that. But I just want them back.
Look at that grin. Look at that fucking grin. So did you all have an argument? Well, we didn't have an argument. And the rocking and the lip sucking. We didn't have an argument. We had an emotional conversation. This robot had an emotional conversation to the point where he and Shanann were both crying. They were so upset. Why he even brings this up? And I've heard people ask, why would he even bring that up? Because he is trying desperately, but he's too stupid. He's trying to plant the seed that she left. That's what he keeps trying to get people to believe. He does not, trust me, he does not want people to think she was kidnapped or harmed in any way, because then there's going to be an investigation. But if they think she was angry or hurt or pissed and she said, you'll never see the girls again, I'm taking them and I'm leaving them, or she said, I'm going to a friend's house for a play date, and I'll get to that, because who speaks like that? You say, I'm taking the kids to Sheila's house for a play date. You don't say, Christopher, I am going to a friend's house. I'm taking the girls to a friend's house for a play date. Anyway, I'm getting off on a fucking tangent because I hate this fucker so badly. I hate him so bad. That grin. Yeah, the reason he even brings it up is because he's planting that seed. He wants people to think she just left. Look at how happy he is. My family's gone. And I really think he believed this is how it was going to go. Wow. Oh, hey, everybody. Shanann left me and she took the kids. Man, that sucks. Oh, well. Anyway, I want you to meet my new girlfriend. She's going to move in with me. Okay, Chris, we all understand. Enjoy your new life with your new mistress.
I just want them to come back.
Yeah.
And
I just want them to come back.
If they're not safe right now, that's what's tearing me apart. Because if they are safe, they're coming back. But if they're not, this has got to stop. Like, somebody has to
stop. If they're not safe, this has got to stop. He's trying so hard to pull out anything, some kind of emotion, but he doesn't understand how emotions work. This has got to stop. If they're safe. If they're not safe, it's got to stop.
Forward.
Have you spoken to her family, like her parents?
Yeah, they've been in constant contact, like every hour. Everybody back in North Carolina and the East Coast. From Maine to Florida.
What is her parents saying to you?
They're just like if they need to get on a flight, just let them know, because they feel helpless right now because they're on the opposite side of the country.
I bet.
Colorado is, you can't just drive around and look. It's just like you wouldn't really know what you're looking for. That's what the cops pretty much told me. That first day I was like, I want to get out and drive around. They said, you wouldn't know what to look for.
Yeah, stupid ass Chris Watts says to the detective or the cop or whomever he was talking to on the body cam, should I go out and drive around, look for her? And the cop's like, where? Drive where? If you knew where to go, wouldn't you fucking go there? oh yeah, well, I could drive along our usual route. Like, what route? What are you talking about? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? The fact that anybody, much less a beautiful soul in person like Shanann, could fall for this fucking chucklehead. Oh, yeah, I guess I can't. I hope they're safe.
Last couple questions. What is law enforcement? What have the police or the sheriffs or your neighbors? Is anybody? What's police saying to you?
Right now, this is what they're doing right now is with the canines in the sense. I think this is the biggest thing. This is the biggest thing they've done so far because yesterday Frederick Police Department did all the searching of the house and tried to gather whatever information they could. And with the detectives, officers, and sergeants, and today it's, I mean, obviously with all the activity that's around, there's a lot going on around here, and I really hope that all this can lead to something positive.
What did your neighbors? Did they see anything? Did your neighbors see anything?
No, like the police department went door to door asking like cameras and everything, just like nothing.
And
Nothing. Not exactly nothing. Stupid face.
last question, if you have any of them, so feel free to step in. My last question is, if your wife can see this, if she can watch these, what would you like to tell your wife and your kids?
Shanann, Bella, Celeste, if you're out there, just come back. Like, if somebody has her, just please bring her back. I need to see everybody. I need to see everybody again. This house is not complete without anybody here. Please bring her back.
We found her. If you could say, if Shanann could hear you, speak to her. Shanann, Bella, Celeste, if you're not safe, just come back. This gotta stop. This is so emotional for me. Let me eat my face.
That's it. I can take that mic off you.
Stupid fucker. Anyway. Yeah, maybe we'll get to the prison interview at some point. All right, guys, I just wanted to share that with you because I missed you so much. And we'll do some more Chris Watts stuff. There's some other lesser known cases I want to do, but I want to give them the justice that they deserve, do them the justice they deserve, and put a little time and research. This is just, everybody's seen so much of the Watts shit that I don't have to explain the story to you. Anyway, it's 2 a.m. almost. So I'm going to get some rest. My folks have been generous enough to let me stay at their house and be able to spend a little time at the beach. But I'm still planning to live stream tomorrow, as long as I can make sure I have it set up. Remember how to set it up correctly on my phone, because I don't have my computer here with me, my pooter. All right, well, talk to you soon, and bye, sweethearts.